was like, what? He showed it to me. He was like, yeah, good guy. He actually lives by Patriot.
Yep. I live literally man, right across the street. My stepkids just graduated from here not too long ago. Tony and Damian Alamon. Those are my step boys.
I did not have them.
Listen, Damian was he's 6'2", like 240 pounds.
You tried.
In high school, he was probably about 6'2", 260 pounds. And I tried to get him to play football so many times, man, throughout his youth. And I just met mom too late, man. And mom was a single mom.
And like, who's this guy?
Yeah, mom's a single mom. And he was, catered and coddled by his aunts and his grandmas for so long. Yeah. And when I came in, I just brought in too much machismo at one time. And I just probably overloaded his senses, man, with the football, because I was like, man, you could do it.
Yeah,
so we
got the size.
And we put him in Gainesville for a little bit, and he played 2 years. I just don't think he liked the contact. Couldn't get through it.
Yeah, you got to do that young. You got to get contact.
Yeah, played for Bruton. Played for Bruton in Gainesville.
Yep. And he was playing like center. Yeah,
that's a lot.
It's a lot. I mean, when I first started playing ball at SYA, that's what I played. Yeah. But I was like the youngest kid on the heaviest weight class every single time. Right? So I was always like the least athletic, the largest, and always on the national team or always on the B team. So they were just like center.
Yeah, that looks like both of you guys. So, I'm a skinny little receiver over here.
But you always hear stories like that. I was not very athletic. I'm on the, O-line, and then he goes plays D1, right?
Right.
Well, it wasn't until like...
Hey, coach, thank you. I give him crap about that all the time. Every time he says not athletic, I'm like, okay.
Well, it was a funny story because like 8th grade, I'm going into 150 pound, and... first day of practice, my dad's driving me, and he's looking at me. He's like, "You all right?" I'm like, "Fuck, Dad, I just don't want to play center again." He's like, "Look, dude, every year they ask you the same shit. They ask, who's played this position? Who's played this position? Who's played this position? You're the dumbass who keeps raising your hand every time they ask who's played center. It's one of the hardest positions to coach, and of course they want someone with experience there. The next time they ask you who played center, keep your hand down." So that's what I did. They moved me to linebacker. I loved it. Because I just started. I had a little growth spurt in 8th grade, and became a little leaner, could move a little better. And by the time I got to 9th grade, I'd been playing with older kids my entire life. Playing freshman ball was just a breeze. Right. Such a breeze.
Right. Yeah. That's 100% correct, though. Yeah. Because I was that big kid. 8th grade, I was. I don't know, 5'11", 180, and we had a weight limit that we had to play. My dad's like, "No, you're not doing it.
You're not doing the weight limit."
No, he goes, "You're not losing." I had to get down to 141. Ugh. And he goes, "You're not doing it." He goes, "I had to lose weight every year playing."
Same.
And then talking about going against the older kids. So I was 11. I was like, "This is the year. I'm underweight. I got this. I'm going to be the man on the team." Nope. I'm playing middle linebacker. I'm like 11 years old, about to have the best year of football ever. And they go, "Hey, the team above us is short kids. You're the best player on this team. And you're right there at that weight limit. Let's put you up." And I was like, I'm top guy right now. Yeah. I want to be here.
Top dog. I want to be here. Yeah.
And then I'm 11 years old. They moved me up to the 13, 14-year-olds. I'm going and lining up against these kids at practice. And we only had 15 kids on the team. So, I knew they were going to have to cancel the team if I didn't go up. So I get it. But I'm in a stance. I'm going against 13, 14-year-olds. Yep. So, 8th graders, maybe even some that should be in 9th grade. They got veins. And, you know what I mean? They got this. I'm an 11-year-old kid with
peach fuzz going on.
Yeah, with no muscle definition.
Yep.
And I am just getting hammered in practice. I have bruises all over me. The principal called me into the office. They thought I was being beaten at home. They called me in and they were like, "You just is there something you need to tell us?"
Yes, my football coaches are beating me up.
I'm like, "What do you mean tell you?" I go, "No, look, these are from football." And they're like, "Sean, you can tell us
it's okay.
It's okay. Be honest.
And I'm like, "No, look, I had the bruises with like the holes in it, the imprinted from the mesh.
Yep.
Man.
Like, because there's no muscle. I was 11.
Yeah.
I did not have any muscle. So it was just the holes from the mesh. I go, look, that's my mesh jersey.
Like, no, it looks like fly swatters.
I wanted to quit every single day.
Yeah, man.
And
Same.
my dad would not let me.
Same.
Right.
I wanted to quit every single day.
Start
He would
something,
not
gotta
let
finish
me.
it.
Same.
And then after that, I went to another organization, played with kids my age. I had to lose 20 pounds to do it, but I was able to play, and I was like, okay, football's fun again.
Yeah.
And then once again went into high school, and I'm like, oh, freshman, I'm top dog again.
Again, yep.
Until at the end of the year, what happens?
They move you to varsity.
They move you up
Yep,
to
they pull you
varsity,
up. Yep.
and then I thought these seniors were the best football players I have ever seen in my
my
entire
life.
life.
Every freshman
Yes.
gets to. I thought the same thing about my senior
Yes.
class too.
Yep.
And then you're a senior, and what happens? You're like, I'm better than they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The game is so slow right now. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, I remember 150 pound my 8th grade year. Half the kids when we played Chantilly in the Sully Bowl, half the kids drove to the game. I'm like, Dad, these guys have beards. And then like you said, freshman year, you come out and you're like, all the kids that always played in the weight class below you start to compete with them, and you're like, oh, this feels like child's play. This is weird.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was, we had a kid, so that year I was on that 13, 14-year-old, and one of my best friends was on one of the opposing teams. And I knew he weighed 140. The weight limit was 113. And I'm like, now this is inner city Akron.
Yeah.
You know? And his team walks, literally someone drove to the game. And this is a 13, 14. You know how we talk about how people are cheating in youth football and they're breaking rules just to win youth football games. Well, it was happening 20 years ago. Like I said, this kid drove to the game. My dad goes, he sees my friend and he goes, Chris, like, how are you playing? He goes, I know you weigh 140 pounds. He goes, not according to that scale.
It's like, oh, okay.
I'm like, all right, I guess that's what we're doing now.
Scale tampering.
It's
Absolutely.
always happened, you know. You just 20 years ago, you just didn't have social media to complain on, you know.
Right.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
Karens didn't exist at that time, right?
They existed. They just, it was very small.
Right.
It was harder to get their word out.
Exactly.
Right. Now they got freedom to say everything anywhere, every platform.
Man. So buckling down, Coach. Are you dumb question, but you're probably juiced about the season. I mean, you guys in the past couple of years, you guys have been really 2 or 3 plays in the games that you guys have
They were
lost.
9-4 last year.
I mean, in the games that you guys lost, you were probably 2 or 3 plays away from winning those games. And I feel like ever since I moved in the area, because I live in Braemar, it's always fun to see your local high school win, compete, and just really dominate, the district, or go hand in hand with a crosstown rival, and compete. And so I can't thank you enough for coming out or allowing us to come out.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I'm happy to be a part of it.
How you feeling about the season?
I'm excited. Last year, we were close. We had Colonial Forge in the regional championship. We were figuring out how to win with 8 starters down. We were able to do it against Gainesville, able to do it against Battlefield, and basically, the rubber bands we were holding everything together with snapped, the Band-Aids fell off, and Forge did a great job taking advantage of some of the mistakes we made in that game. But I mean, we've been in the regional championship 3 out of the last 5 years.
Yep,
that's big.
The one year was COVID, the hardest season we've ever had to go through. But we got to the regional championship and went up against Massaponics when they were at their strength.
Yes.
Where they literally were one score away of beating Oscar Smith and then going to winning the whole thing that year. Lost to them, lost to that Freedom team.
Yep.
We were the only team in Virginia that scored over 20 points against them. That tells you how good that team was. And then last year, so kids know what to do to win.
Right.
The culture is here. We're going into year 7, so they know the deal. They know the culture. We practice in a way to be successful. We do things in a way where the kids, they feel they're built different.
Yeah.
They believe it,
Yeah.
and it shows on the field. So
It definitely does.
Yeah, they're ready to take that step. Beating Battlefield in the playoffs last year was a huge hurdle for them because they hadn't beat Battlefield, that group of kids. So they know they can beat Battlefield. So there's really, we've beaten Forge, so they know they can beat anybody on the schedule.
Yeah.
And we definitely, we probably have the hardest schedule in Virginia, or at least Northern Virginia.
Well, that was one of the things that I was also wanted to talk about. I'm very critical of now I claim the Prince William County, right?
Yeah.
I'm always critical of our area because I always feel like the big three on this side of the county, they scrimmage a lot of the competition, but they don't necessarily schedule them. And so when I saw Westfield on your guys' schedule, I got very, very excited. When I saw you guys were scrimmaging Madison, I got very, very excited. Because the big thing about me was like, man, they don't play anybody until they play each other, right?
Yeah.
And over the past couple of years in particular, you guys have started to schedule some opponents outside of the area, and it's very, very encouraging to see, man. Is that intentional, or did you guys just have an opportunity to finally reach out to those coaches?
I mean, it's 100% intentional. So when I was at Liberty High School years ago, like, we always scheduled hard. Like, we would get into playoffs at like 6-4.
Right.
Like, we would, be rough early on, and then we'd hit our stride and go into the playoffs playing really good ball. Like, our kids knew that they could beat anybody because of our schedule. So when I got here, it was the same thing. First year, I mean, it was an easy schedule.
Yeah.
We went 9-1 in the regular season my year one here, and it was not the toughest schedule. It was 100% what you're saying.
Yeah.
So was that based on the DSA making the schedule?
That was what was already in place,
Okay.
and that's who they played. And then so when I came in, I was like, we need to schedule tougher.
Right.
It just, I want to play tougher teams so our kids don't get to a battlefield, and that's the first tough team they've played.
Right. They're shell shocked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wow, this is what a tough team is. And now you spend a whole half trying to get these kids to adjust. So, we automatically started scheduling tougher teams, keeping Mountain View on the schedule.
Right.
Those years, they were really good under Sorrentino.
The only team on this side of the county that played that Freedom team in the regular season, right? You guys actually scheduled that Freedom team in the regular season.
Oh, no, we didn't play them until the regional championship.
The championship. Okay.
But we
I saw Champ
we
on
played,
that, on
we
the
played
schedule.
Woodbridge. I mean, we were
Yeah.
playing back in those days when, they had all those D1 kids.
Right.
We were playing Woodbridge in the regular season. Garfield, like, the toughest teams on the other side of the county, we wanted to play. So whether it was Garfield, Forest Park.
Right.
And then we stopped playing Forest Park and added a Westfield.
Yes.
We have Forge in the regular season, so we'll play Forge week 2.
Yep.
We'll see how that goes. I think Forge is probably the number one team in the region this year, as they should be. They won it last year. They have a lot back, but we'll see how that game goes. But when we see them in the playoffs, like, we'll be playing our better ball. Our inexperienced kids will be experienced.
Right.
But that's just why you do it. You want your kids to know they've played tougher teams, so it's not a shock. And I think last year with Battlefield, when they were playing us, it was like that was their first real game.
Always is.
And
Always is.
And they went through a shock with that.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, then I think that was probably the first time going into halftime where they were losing, and had to make adjustments.
How do you
And
respond?
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough on kids when they've been winning by 30 points.
Right.
Every game for 9 straight games. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
And that week 10, they beat us 27-7. It was much closer than that, but that was 2 weeks after us losing all of our kids, and we're still trying to figure out how we're going to win games being down so many kids, and we were still figuring that out and got it figured out in the playoffs, but just didn't have it figured out by week 10.
Right. And a little bit about your pedigree, Coach. You said you grew up in Ohio. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And then were you able to play ball at the next level, or did you compete at the next level?
So yeah, I played ball at St. Vincent St. Mary.
Okay.
Akron, Ohio.
Nice.
Everyone always asks, went to school with LeBron. So that's always a funny thing. People are always like, did you go to school? Yes.
Yeah.
LeBron was a freshman when I was a senior.
Dang.
So
Small world, right?
Hey,
Yeah.
definitely small world. And
You probably looked like a man back then.
Hey, I tell people everything you learned was from me, and then people laugh. He was a freshman, and so we just thought he was a really good freshman. And I was senior captain. He was a 6'5", 170-pound, really skinny ninth grader.
Yeah.
But man, he can go up and get the ball.
Yeah.
And I played basketball too going into that year. That's another funny story. But finished St. Vincent St. Mary, went to Clarendon University in Pennsylvania, Division II. I had 2 Division I scholarships at the time, Akron and Kent State. And if you know anything about Akron and Kent State in the early 2000s, the only games they won were against each other. You know, they were not good.
Who recruited you out of Kent State? The guy who recruited me out of Kent State was Coach Pratt, AJ Pratt.
You know,
you remember back then?
You know, CTE's
No, that's
thing.
the thing.
So like you're trying to get, it was the D-line guy.
Gotcha.
It was the D-line guy back there, but yeah, that's a long time ago. So it was both D-line at Kent State, O-line for Akron, but they, you know, weren't winning many games.
Right.
And Kent State's 15 minutes from my house, Akron's 5 minutes from my house. So I had a situation where I can go play anywhere D2 and still be for free, since, you know, academic money, athletic money, financial aid money, it all worked together. So everywhere was free.
Right.
So I decided to go to Clarion. I liked the coaching staff. I liked the kids on the visits. So went to Clarion, played 4 years. Who knows how many years I would have played if I wouldn't have went to Akron or Kent. Might have, you know, taken 3 years to
Actually get on the field.
Get on the field. I mean, still got looks. You know, I played next to a guy, Reggie Wells, left tackle. I was left guard. Reggie played 10 years in the league.
Nice.
So, yeah, and so NFL scouts were at practice, and it was always funny because they would look at me, and Reggie goes, "Hey, Tennessee Titans wrote you down." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "They had your name written down on their scout when they were at practice." I go, "Oh, Tennessee, really?" He goes, "Yeah." They said, "No butt, no legs." And I'm like, "Hey, all right, thanks a lot." Yeah, you know, like, thanks a lot.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Good looking out, Tennessee,
That's
right?
funny.
So they, you know, so I knew I wasn't going to the NFL. I just didn't have that makeup. So, and then, like I said, left Clarion, taught 1 year at Punxsutawney High School, where I was a first-year coach at Punxsutawney High School, and we were not good. We went 0-10. So it was a rough experience. You know, I was successful at St. Vincent St. Mary, and, you know, senior captain in high school, senior captain in college, and now I'm like, want to make a difference in Punxsy, and, you know, football just wasn't that important there.
Yeah.
But I was that, you know, 22-year-old kid, like, put a helmet on and ran scout team running back with no pads, just to, like, I was that guy, like, come on, guys. Like, we talked about big, dumb, stupid athletes. Like, I was one of those. That would get me fired now if I did anything.
Oh,
absolutely.
good. Yeah, you'd
Absolutely.
be gone. Be totally gone.
Yeah, back in 2005, you can get away with it.
Right.
But yeah, a guy came down for the AD that hired me there, left, came down to Liberty High School in Bealton, and then he came back up in the spring and was like, hey, you know, he left as AD at Punxsy. He was athletic director, head football coach, left to be an assistant coach down here at Liberty Bealton. It was a really good program under Tommy Buzzo then. Like I said, coached your buddy AJ. Like, they had a lot of athletes there. Got me to come down. He's like, hey, we have a position, you know, might be freshman, but we have a social studies position for you. Why don't you come down here? Better football, better pay. Came down. Got here about 1 a.m. I don't know if you know anything about the hotels on 17 right there by Liberty High School, but I stayed at one of those hotels because I didn't. Hey, I didn't know any better. I didn't know any. I'm
area.
I'm just a year out of college. You know, I was like, oh, $40. I'm like,
I'm
there
in.
you go. I'm in. You
Saw some creatures.
Yeah, it was bad. Like, you did not touch the bed. You sleep in a chair all night like this. But like, woke up, you know, got there 1 a.m, basically used it just to shower, had an interview at 6 a.m. with the head football coach, then interviewed for a teaching position after that, got the job, was a freshman quarterbacks coach.
Okay.
So I went from where I was a major part 1 year out of college at Punxsy, where worked for a real good, we were two outsiders at Punxsy. Blake Moylan, who's now a head coach down in Texas. He was first year, I was first year, so we got along really well, but I was a higher up in the offensive planning, and then come down here to Virginia, and I'm a, you know, O-line guy playing, you know, coaching quarterbacks on the freshman team. But it's what I wanted to do, so I jumped right in it. I coached my butt off coaching quarterbacks and outside linebackers, and did that for 1 year, and then Tommy Buzzo moved me up to O-line the very next year, and was there 5 years, turned into a run game coordinator and OC, and then he left, went to college, and I got the job as a head coach there at Liberty.
Nice.
So it's funny you mentioned Clarion.
Yeah.
We may have actually passed each other when you were there. Now, I wasn't clearly in college, right? But my uncle was a professor there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, and my mom's brother, so, like, he worked as a professor there for about 20 years. I think he retired about 4 or 5 years ago. But so I used to go up there and look at the campus and everything. And me being a wrestling nerd, I know that it's big because of Kurt Angle, right? Kurt Angle went to school there, so like. But,
did he really?
Yeah, Kurt Angle went to Patriot University.
Yeah. Oh, they had great wrestlers. Kurt Angle, obviously Olympian. Frankie Edgar.
Yep.
Oh wow.
So Frankie
was big, but it's quiet.
Yeah. So
is it in Western PA or Eastern?
Western PA?
Oh, okay.
So it's about an hour and a half outside of Pittsburgh.
Got it.
So it was like a 2-hour shot from Akron. So if I needed to go home, I could. But yeah, Frankie Edgar was roommates with the best man in my wedding. So I knew Frankie well because we were all friends. So yeah, Frankie, great guy, and then obviously he had a phenomenal career in the UFC.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, like Clarion was really big wrestling wise.
Wow.
That's his sport, USC.
That's
so
my
it's like,
sport.
Yeah, you touch everything, but it's
Yeah.
crazy. And you said Clarion, I was like, I
Yeah.
swear I saw that. It's kind of cool.
You a big UFC guy?
Yeah.
I got a funny story for you. So Arthur Jones at Syracuse was my roommate one year, right?
Uh-huh.
And, Chandler Jones
Yeah.
is his brother.
love this.
Johnny Jones is
Oh,
also his.
It's
his
quite
older
the
brother.
family.
Yeah. They got some genes.
Yeah.
love this
not like the
story.
jeans commercial, right? But
Hold on, let's not get canceled here.
I don't want to
You're
go
gonna get a
there,
lot of
right?
attention now.
Let's not get
So-
canceled.
That's how you get clicked.
So we just get like absolutely demolished by a Pat White led West Virginia
Virginia
team, right? They come to the Dome, they spank us. And Chandler's on his visit, I think it's his senior year in high school. And Johnny just won the JUCO national championship for wrestling. And he pretty much has every D1 scholarship that he wants. But he's chilling because he's done with this semester, he's done with this season. And so we're like, Johnny, what school are you going to, man? Like, where you think you're headed to? He's like, man, I think I'm gonna do this UFC thing or this MMA thing. And we're like, yeah, right, man. There's no way you can get your ass knocked out. Like those dudes get knocked out on TV.
Yeah.
Well, and then at that time, it was like
It was so brutal.
It was so raw.
It was
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
raw.
So raw. Yeah.
And like there wasn't the money in it.
Nope.
There wasn't any of that. It's just
Nope.
like you're gonna get paid pennies to go get beat up.
Yeah, yeah. And a year later, he's holding up, or a year and a half later, he's holding up the title belt after beating Lyoto Machida. And we're just sitting in the living room like, holy shit. He did it. He did it. So yeah, man, that's
He backed it up.
He did. So like,
That family backs it up. I think.
that whole family
Yeah, I think
backs
that whole
it up.
family
Listen,
backs
the
it up.
whole Jones family. I mean, they're athletic. They're very, regardless of the stories
Yeah.
that you hear about them, the media, like it is a quality family. A
Oh, I
quality
mean, you
group
see
of guys.
when they interview all the brothers together, you see some of that stuff. You can see how good of a family
Yeah.
they are
Yeah.
and how
Yeah.
they relate to each
Dad's
other.
a pastor. Mom held them together. Rest in
Yeah.
peace. Mom held them together as a family, and Dad was a pastor at one point. And those are three bros, like
Yeah.
real bros. And all of them did some sort of combat or
Right.
like some sort of
Gladiator type
gladiator
sport.
type sport.
Yeah.
They were all wrestlers. And yeah, man.
I thought you were gonna tell the running joke that
What's that?
the one where Jones showed up to one of your conditioning and then
Oh, dude, yeah. So Johnny, after like winning the belt, he shows up going into my senior year because Chandler is still on the team. He comes down. He's like, I just want to condition with you guys one day, and we're like, all right. And it's one of those rest days where the coach basically puts on a 45-minute timer, and you have to jog around two fields.
We did it too back then.
Yeah, so like as long as you're jogging, you're good. Doesn't
Yes.
matter what pace you're going, but the arms
As
and
long as
the-
it's a little bit more
Yeah,
than the fat man.
exactly,
jog.
exactly.
You got a little bit more. than-
Listen, Johnny.
Know it well.
Johnny lapped our DBs like probably 4 or 5 times. So you're talking about a 6'6", 225-pound
big boy.
guy,
Specimen.
Yeah, that's a good word, coach.
and he's lapping Division I DBs. And I just at that point I knew I was like, okay, there's layers to this athletic shit. Yeah, and I'm not there. So yeah, I need to graduate. I need to graduate.
I mean, hey, I'm with you. I told you what Tennessee said about me. Like I wasn't there. My left tackle Reggie, 10 years in the league.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Me, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
It was either go play arena or go teach.
Yep.
And then I was like, at that point in time, I'm like, do I really? That was on the old turf.
The arena wasn't it back in the
No,
day.
I was like, you're getting paid.
Carpet.
You're getting paid. I think the contract I got was for like $2,500 a month, and they
Nope.
give you a place to live, and I'm like, I think I'm just going to go grow up.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to chase that dream. I think I'm going to go.
I think chasing the dead pig is up for me, right? That's it. That's it, man. Yeah. So you came over here what year?
So I came over here 2019.
19. Okay, you did say that right before COVID.
Yeah, so going into year 7.
Yeah, so you guys came out of COVID pretty good, and then 11-2. I think the second year.
Was 2022?
Yeah, that was the year we lost freedom.
Okay, yeah.
22.
And like I said, ever since I moved into the area, you guys have been super, super competitive. We were talking about it earlier, and when I think of Patriot football, I think gritty, physical. Like it reminds me
Violence.
it reminds me of those old Robinson Centerville games from the late 90s, early 2000s.
Don't make me feel old.
Where you can hear in the stands, you can hear the pads cracking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And as a guy who's from the area and played from the area, like I love coming to watch you guys play.
Yeah.
I appreciate
love watching you guys play.
We pulled up on you guys when you played Battlefield. Now this was the second time because it was back-to-back weeks. We wish we would have caught that game the first one.
Yeah.
But to Drew's point, it was aggressive. It was violent, and that is what football's supposed to be.
Absolutely.
It was good. Everything was clean hits, but it's that you heard the pads cracking.
Yep. It's finishing.
Right. Right.
It's finishing. You're finishing the play.
Exactly.
You're play through the whistle.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Move the line of scrimmage, and it's everything we do, and it really happens in practice.
You can tell, man.
Yeah.
You can tell.
It's evident when we watch you guys.
Yeah. Is that a mentality that you had to change when you got here?
It was different philosophies. So you had Brud, great coach, won a state championship, phenomenal coach, phenomenal individual. There was just different ways of doing things. So they were throw the ball 40 times a game.
Right.
Struggled on defense, but threw the ball 40 times a game, broke records, all that, and that's not me.
Right.
Like, I want to run the ball and I want to stop the run. So it was something that literally you just preach every day and you just push it into them to the point where they're either going to buy in or they're not going to be around.
Sure.
That's something
I love this mentality.
Yeah, they just have to embrace that. And we do it in practice, and everything's on a timer. Your scoreboard's on every 5 minutes. We are moving, we are running.
You run it like a D1 practice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you let the kids know that. So then the kids are like, man, we do things different.
Yeah.
We do things different, and they believe it, and they just go, and practice. We're good on good all the time. Like, there's not the, we just don't beat on. We're not going to beat on a JV team. Like, if you're not starting on that offensive line, and let's say you're rotating in, like your butt's on D line, like we have to go good on good. We hit probably more than we should. You hear other coaches like, we're beating on them quite a bit. Like, let's lay off. And I'm kind of like, I think we're okay.
Are you not in the game?
Yeah, like I'm an old school mentality.
I love it.
I'm 100% an old school coach, old school mentality. But you tell the kids, like, not everybody does this.
Right.
Not everybody does it this way. Like, we do things differently here because it changes things, and the kids believe in it. And then you see it. So, we have, camp was going on, and we had the scrimmage against Madison. Very physical team. And that's why we scrimmage them. You got to see the best.
You have to.
So we scrimmaged Madison on Wednesday. And a lot of people probably like, hey, off Thursday, or, hey, let's go watch film.
Nope.
Hey, no, we were film early, practice, then lift.
Now, when you went practice, was this padded or was it shells?
We did just go helmets for them. Yeah. The next day, I'm not that crazy. Yeah. So
right.
It was helmets, but the kids were still like, we're going through stuff, and I talked to you a little off camera about the timing issues we had in the scrimmage. So I wanted to have those changes fixed and now run through. So the kids, once again,
your fix-its. Yeah.
You fix it. You get that bad taste out of your mouth from the night before for the timing issues, and now let's work on it. But then, Friday, it's like, all right, well, we don't play till Thursday. No, Friday, now we're padded up, and now we're practicing. And at the same point, we do almost everything in shell. Like, we don't wear pants very often at all. Why? Because I want them to learn how to practice that way, because that's what they're going to do at the next level.
Yes.
You very rarely ever wear pants. so I'm like, you have to learn to practice hard, practice physical.
Stay off the ground.
Stay off the ground.
You stole it. I was like, this guy tells me all the time.
And
They yell, stay off the ground.
all the time.
So
stay off the mother effing ground. Yeah,
because that's why we don't wear the pants. Because I
Exactly.
want them to learn to go hard without staying off the ground.
Protect each other and be athletes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Be an athlete, son.
And then once again, we all know, like, sometimes you're not as much of a head coach as you are like a psychologist.
Correct.
So not having pants on, you feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
You feel you can run a little bit
little
more,
looser.
move a little bit. You feel a little bit better. So then maybe you're working that much harder.
Yep.
It's one of those things where I don't want my kids to hear it, but they'll all hear it. But like you do that, like it makes them feel a little bit better than not wearing pants. So you get maybe that little bit more out of them in practice.
Yep. You get a little bit more juice.
Yeah.
Right. And the kids don't want to put pants on. Yeah. So like if I practice hard here and coach sees that, then we continue to build those good habits. There's no way this fool is going to put us back in pants.
100%.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you have good practices like that, why would I change it?
Yeah. Exactly. No, that's a great philosophy. I'm always interested to hear guys who played at a higher level, in a collegiate level. How much of that do they take back into coaching? And it's consistent, right?
Yep, very
We're going to
consistent.
run it just like a college practice because. You probably saw it too going, well, I don't know, because you played at a pretty elite high school. But when I went from high school to college, the pace that the collegiate practices went at was such a rapid pace that it increased the speed of the game, or it slowed the game down for me. But it also taught me how to practice, appropriately. I couldn't waste reps, right? You knew as a puppy. At the collegiate level, you only had but a finite amount of reps, and I had to make them count. And they were all going on that damn film. Yep. Right? And we were all going to analyze it the next day. Right? So it just taught me to camera. Yeah. It just taught me to be a better, more of a better student of the game. Yeah. And I think that no matter who you guys have every single year, you can see that the kids really just study what you're teaching them, both on and off the field.
Absolutely.
I mean, the physicalness that you guys come with is something that I always praise from Northern Virginia. I always say when we make the state championship game or the state semi-states game, it's the physicality, the ability to do exactly what you said. Stop the run or minimize the big plays, right? And be able to control the clock by running the ball.
Impose your will.
Impose your will. And you look at all the teams out of Northern Virginia who've been able, at the Class 6, 5, and 4 level, who've been able to go down to Richmond or the beach. That's what they've been able to do.
Yeah, because they're going to have the speed on us.
Yep.
They're going to be more athletic teams. And, especially in our case, like they're going to have more D1 players. They're going to have faster players. Right. So how do we win? Take the air out of the ball.
That's right.
Just grind. And I really love what we do schematically. And I put our scheme against anybody. We've been able to win because we don't always have the players. I mean, one of our media days a couple weeks ago, they literally made a comment like, you usually have these, good-looking guys. And I'm looking, and he's like, they kind of look like regular guys this year. I'm looking at my kids like, you hear that? You hear that?
Oh yeah, juice.
But like we have really good high school football players, but we don't have those D1 looking studs. We'll have a few.
Right.
Obviously I have a kid going to Penn State. Like we have a few.
Yeah.
But overall, like we have these phenomenal, really good high school football players that are going to go play D3, maybe D2. But they just believe in everything we do.
Yeah,
and that's okay. And that's okay in today's world. But to turn it, swing back to something you said earlier, and Drew touched on it. He's like, we're not going to sit here and toss the pill. We're gonna run the ball, and that's why you every year go deep into the playoffs.
Yes,
because if you don't run that ball when it gets cold. It's over for you.
It's over, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's over. Like you're not gonna toss the ball 50 times and win a game, especially down south.
100%.
Yeah.
So the fact that and gritty, aggressive, violent, and ball control, man, we're looking for big things out of you. We're looking for big things
and
this year.
we jazz it up. We jazz it up in the backfield.
It's not to say you're not going to throw it, but
exactly.
throwing's not primary.
Yeah. But when the defense is looking at us, we're doing different reads, we're doing different things, RPOs, all that stuff.
You're undressing defenses with emotions.
But up front, it does not change. We keep it very simple for those boys up front. And it's reps. It's that muscle memory, and they just believe that they're better than the team we're going against up front.
Yeah.
You know, and if we're not, like, we scheme ways around it. You know, I put our coaching staff against anybody in the area. Like, that's why we constantly find ways to still win games when, you know, our enrollment, we were at 3,000 kids. We're down to 1,900 kids now. Like, we could be going to play 5A ball,
right?
You know, with as many kids as we have. But it hasn't changed anything. We still find ways to be successful with, you know, kids going up and down and good classes, bad classes. But the, you know, resume, the recipe, whatever you want to say, like, hasn't changed.
Right. I also give a lot of credit. Gainesville, Battlefield, and Patriot are very, very fortunate and blessed to have a great feeder system in Gainesville youth.
The Grizzlies,
man, there are the coaches, the fervor, the community, like, they love them some football out here in this part of the county.
They do.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the kids that get funneled through that, and a lot of the all-star teams that pluck from the area, right? You can tell that the area generates a lot of athletes, and it's something that Brent and I, growing up in this area, we're not used to this many athletes coming out of this particular part of Virginia. We're used to a lot of the kids coming out of Fairfax. So
this area kind of grew as we grew.
Correct.
It started to grow.
Yeah,
we mentioned this a couple times on the podcast. A lot of the parents that are out here now, and this is nothing against the people who grew up here and stayed here, right? But a lot of parents that have come in from here came from our area and moved down here.
Right?
He's a perfect example.
Yeah,
played
absolutely.
ball at Centerville, and now he lives in Bristow, right?
Absolutely.
I got a lot of friends that are coaching at the Grizzlies that we played with in high school. We got guys over at Dulles Youth that we played with in high school. Everyone's come down this way, so I'm not surprised that
the football culture is there.
Here because they're that mentality from what I say the mid '90s to the early 2000s, right?
And credit to the Gainesville administration, Patriot administration, and Battlefield administration.
Yeah.
I mean, they've hired some phenomenal staffs and coaches.
Yeah. And this is not just football; this is across everything.
Across everything, right? And I can't speak highly enough about what you guys are doing out here. How do you as a coach make yourself the obvious choice, you know, when it comes to communicating and associating, advocating for the youth football, or do you tap into it, or are you involved in the community in that regard? Like, how do you implement yourself?
So I was obviously an outsider.
Yeah.
You know, I came down from, you know, moved from Pennsylvania down here, grew up in Ohio, was in Fauquier County, you know, so I was a part of that for 13 years. But the old school mentality of the part is I focus on my area, my kids, and don't really go out of there very much.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It's just, you know, and it's a good and bad thing. That's why I was you know, like I said, I'm a talker. I'm Irish. I will talk in circles.
I mean, talk.
It takes me a long time to come back to.
We got time.
But going back to, to Obi and like teasing when he reached out and connected me with you guys, and I'm like, no, because I don't think anybody really knows much of me and what I do. Because I stay to myself and I stay to my kids. So you don't see me going all these other places. You don't. Because
that's why when you agreed to do this, we were like, fuck yeah. Like, we didn't even know we had access to it.
No, I said, I love doing this because it's it's for the kids. Like, as much as it's just me sitting here, like, we're still highlighting Patriot football. We're highlighting Patriots players, Patriot community, Patriot school.
Right.
You know, I just happen to be the spokesperson for this moment. So I'm just like, oh yeah. I was like, yeah, Obi's probably sitting there talking about me, and people are like, who the heck is that guy? What do you mean? Finn, good coach, that's like probably has no idea who I am. You know, and literally I've had, you know, Obi, who everybody knows, you know, is my OC. Lauren White, my defensive backs coach. Scott Geromo was my OC, who was the head coach of Battlefield.
Yeah.
You know, I got 5 or 6 coaches on my staff that are head coaches now.
Yeah.
You know, so like we do a great job.
The Finn tree.
It's turning into a pretty good tree for, you know, I guess I'm only 43 years old, but this is year 14 as a head coach.
Roots. Yeah.
So you get around to it. But so coming in, it was a little difficult to try to get into the community and establish ourselves with here. I was lucky to become friends with a lot of the coaches and those good people associated with the Gainesville Grizzlies.
Nice.
Jeff Furman, who runs it. Like, I'm friends with Jeff. Mike Crosby, who was involved in it for a long time. I brought him on staff, became friends with him. Matt Patterson, who's at Gainesville. But Craig Smoot, who's been in Gainesville forever. Those people that are on the board. Like, I became friends with them just meeting through football, and they're like, oh, Gainesville Grizzlies, this, and that. So then I start showing up, supporting. I've ran some big man camp for them. I've done some speaking engagements with them, just because I'm like, dude, if it's football, I'm
in.
Right.
Yeah, if it's football, I'm in it. Like, like we were talking off camera, like, Obi and I get together and like we'll spend 6 hours just talking ball. So if I can help that with the kids, and the kids always get a kick out of it. So I'll go do stuff with the Grizzlies, and I'll bring our players. I'll bring our players with it. But now, we talk about the good and bad of social media because of everything that's going on. Right. Like, those are things I'm not even allowed to do anymore.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's right.
Because of the recruiting part of it.
Right. So you can't even talk to some of those 8th graders. Yeah.
So
Fudge.
I can't even talk to an 8th grader until after May 1st. So,
oh my God.
So if you get me,
even if they're in your pipeline.
Well, the whole thing is the Grizzlies are in everybody's pipelines.
Right.
But even the ones that are, let's say Marsteller. Yeah. I can't do it until after a certain date. Really? So because of the stuff that's going on with recruiting and, going to those things and running a big man camp for Jeff and Grizzlies and being able to do that, now it's looked at as, oh, look, Finn's recruiting. Finn's telling all these kids to go to Patriot. Of course I'm not. I'm just there coaching and high-fiving kids and letting them meet high school kids, which they think is awesome. And, you're doing it for the best reasons, but people look at that and it starts getting twisted, and
people love twisting the narrative.
Absolutely.
Especially when you're trying to do the right thing, they want to twist it to the wrong.
Yes.
So maybe it's a little too early to even ask this question. Have the area coaches come together and actually talked about bringing the local kids from the area in a very neutral environment and running those type of events or running a meet and greet or
that's a great idea, actually.
Yeah, I mean, because if it's neutral, then nobody can be charged of or accused of recruiting.
And you got multiple coaches there, then it's not. Yeah, that's out the window.
It'd be something where you could literally, we haven't talked about something like that, but I'm really, like I said, I am good friends with the coaches that we go against and that are in the area. So that's a great idea, but it's gotten to a point where I think this is great. We talk about it. It starts right now. And be like, hey, look what they just did. And that started there. But then we start going to other people and higher ups, and then they'll find something wrong with it. And they'll say this, that, or it's some type of violation. Because, that sounds like a phenomenal idea. Like, so I'm going to work on it. I will 100% because I think that's a great idea. Yeah. As long as everybody in the county gets an invitation. Right. Every coach has the option to be there. Right. You would think that 100% should cover all bases. Right. So, and then it benefits, we could do it at the Grizzlies field. Right. We do tons of stuff over at Grizzlies. Like I said, Jeff's always great in helping us out. And, we do a 7-on-7 league there. We've done team camps there. So, like I said, he's great with helping. So next summer, if that goes down, that was you.
Hey, man. However we can get involved, right?
Like
we
would
love to be involved in that. Getting the message out, reaching out to middle schools if you need us to. Like, use us. We're just as much the community advocates as you are, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So like I said, I think that might be a great idea. That might be something we do maybe next spring, next summer. Like I said, just get a bunch of people. If you do one camp, you can come up with all types of ways where the money would go to. There's all types of things it can go to. Back to the Grizzlies, charities, and you get all the coaches. What a great thing that would be.
Right. Right.
So hey, I'm 100% going to start it. And if it goes down, you guys know where.
I'm a local guy, so I'm right across the street.
Absolutely.
He'll know.
So moving on and moving to this year's team, Coach.
Really excited.
Really excited. I mean, obviously, you guys are going to play smash mouth football like you normally do. Yep. When I was watching a little bit of the scrimmage against Madison, I noticed that it's the same mentality like you always said, but you got some puppies at the QB position that threw some dots on the other day.
We're definitely talking about that.
Talk a little bit about the personnel that you have coming in, some of the new faces that are going to show themselves at the varsity level, and obviously some of the guys that have been there before that you're excited. The returners.
Yeah. So obviously, offensively speaking, you brought up the QBs. We had a bunch of QBs going for it. Sophomore Jonah Howes is the one that's taking that lead, and he was the one that started those first couple drives out where we moved the ball pretty well, even with some of the stuff going on. And great. He's 6'3", 190. As a sophomore.
I'm telling you, Brent.
He's a great looking kid.
Dot.
That is 6'3", 190, and you're talking sophomore. We're already talking college build.
Yeah, like I said, great build and extremely coachable.
Yeah, that's huge.
And we're doing some things, and we've been working on mechanics nonstop and trying to fix some things. And man, he just wants to be coached. Yep. So we're excited about him because every day he's going to keep getting better. Yep. That's why. I mean, the bad thing is we have some of our toughest opponents early. Week 1, Westfield. Week 2, Forge. Week 3, Mountain View. Mm-hmm. So
you want to get battle tested, kid.
Hey, early.
Yeah.
But that's why we scrimmage a Madison.
That's right.
That's right. So he gets to see that look.
Yep.
Because he hasn't seen that. This is his first time playing big time varsity football. He was a backup before where he was. So this is something that you can't, put a price tag on. Yeah. So really excited about him. He was able to win it just because he was able to operationally put us in the right position all the time. He's making the right reads. And then we'll get better at, making the right read and then executing it better. And that's what he's going to keep getting better with. But he's making the right reads. He's putting us in the right places because we do put a ton on the QB position. Yeah. They have to make a lot of checks. They got to make a lot of reads. That's why they're so college ready when they come out of this offense. That's the beauty of it. When you see the outside, you think pound, pound, pound. You see that physicality up front and the run, but our quarterbacks making checks, they're making checks, they're making reads, the RPO reads, everything like that to the point where that QB gets to college. So I was just talking to Tyler Knutsen's mom, who was our QB last year. Okay. Broke the record for touchdown passes. With a team that runs as much as we do, mm-hmm. he still had 28 touchdown passes last year. Mm-hmm. So he's at Emory and Henry, and they put you on the board and they ask you to do things. And he was just unbelievably surprised that other QBs couldn't do what he could on the board. Right. And that's what you try to tell people. We get these kids college ready. We run an offense that teaches them how to do that. Whether it's reads, whether it's the checks at the line, whether it's the mechanics, or just how we teach a person to go through the numbers. Hey, first read, second read, third read, they learn how to do that. And not everybody does. You think they do, but then when it comes down to it, they're probably being predetermined. On this play, you're throwing to that guy. On this play, you're throwing to that guy. Right. And obviously, if you want to be successful, you can't do that. No. So that's what Jonah's done a great job of. And then we got this 9th grader. All right. Anthony Mallory, who's just, he throws a pretty ball. He came in there in that 2-minute situation mm-hmm. and, overthrew a guy a couple times by a foot, but he's on the run making this. And he is 9th grade. Has a cannon, great mechanics, great kid. The only reason Jonah was able to edge him out is, he's a 9th grader we're putting all the same stuff on that kid as we are Jonah, yeah. And just being a year older, seeing Friday Night Football a little bit more than him. To come off of, he started half the time at Marsteller, and now he's fighting for a QB1 at Patriot High School. It's nuts. Yeah. And he's been able to do all of it.
I love that.
So you talk about a QB battle, Jonah's guy, but they were told this is going to be a competition all year long. So they're going to be both working their butts off trying to be the guy. And then you think about it, mean, this is 3 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be fun seeing it play out. But because of that, we're able to do a few different things because we like both of them so much. Like we can do a little bit more QB run, and that's what you see in that scrimmage. You see, we're doing more QB runs than we have in the past because we had to put a bubble around Tyler. He could run, but like we lost Tyler. Like we were in bad shape. Tyler's backup last year is now playing receiver for us this year. So that just tells you like we couldn't lose him, and we didn't have any QB run in our run game. This year we're able to put that back in, so it makes us so much more multiple than we've been the last couple of years.
Yeah, and it puts a lot more stress on defenses that you're playing. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
God, see, you want to talk, and then I talk 5-10 minutes.
No,
Oh,
man,
it's
you're
fine.
good.
Go ahead. I know you got more.
So yeah, up front, we love what we got up front. Jordan Benjamin just committed to Towson.
Okay.
6'2", over 300 pounds, and everybody in Northern Virginia knows about Jordan. All right, Jordan Benjamin, because you go watch a game, you see him. He tweaked his knee in the first scrimmage, so he didn't scrimmage. He wasn't in that Wednesday scrimmage. If you saw a big kid in a red dry fit on the sideline, that was it. But everybody in Northern Virginia knows him because when he pulls, you see it, you feel it.
Yeah.
To the point
Downhill.
Downhill.
Yes.
So we coaches talk, and Madison found out he wasn't playing, and they're like, oh man, that we feel a little bit better about tonight now, because I mean, like I said, he's a hammer.
Yeah.
And he's so strong and so physical, and he's a baby. He's 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
Going into a senior year of high school at 16.
Oh, wow.
So, that's where, I talking to a lot of schools, and the recruiting aspect. It's like, guys, he's 16 years old. Like, imagine what he's going to look like when he's 18.
Right.
Like, so he's going to Towson, but it's like, I could really see some bigger schools trying to come in here and steal him late.
Yeah.
Like
During the season,
like how a JMU came in and stole Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Last minute, yeah.
Jackson just, through 8 games, he had 1,500 yards and 26 touchdowns. He just played himself out of an FCS scholarship, and I could see that happening with Jordan. Now obviously, he's committed. But, that's a whole other thing we talk about that game.
Yeah.
Now with college football, commitments are
nothing
because that's coaches alike. I mean, there's coaches trying, the money being thrown at my linebacker tight end, Matt, right now from colleges. He's committed to Penn State. Doesn't mean people aren't trying to throw a lot of money to take him.
Gotta throw the bag.
Hey, it's a different ball game now. It really is. And then Owen Lawson, we love up front. He was our center last year. We tried to move him around because he's so good. We want to use him as a guard and tackle, but we're going to move him back to center and to work on those timing. He's just that. You want to talk about Patriot football, that hard-nosed, gritty kid, that's him.
Yeah.
Like, he's the epitome of why we're good.
Gotcha.
He is that Division III, hopefully maybe a D2 school wants him, but he is that 4.0 GPA, just lives and breathes what we do, and, like, just phenomenal high school football player.
Yeah.
And then really excited, going to be one of the best D linemen in the county, Chris Umana, who's also playing left tackle. So those are the 3 guys right now we have up front, and we're filling in the spots around them. Tight end, Jack Fowler, he's a returner from last year. He was our number 2 kid last year, but when we went through all those changes with all those starters we lost, we ended up doing a ton of 12 personnel, so he turned into a starter because we had to go 2 tight end because we only had a couple of receivers on the roster that have caught a ball on a Friday night. So, that's where we were at. So we went a bunch of 12. So him coming back, he's also playing DN. And then, like I said, we have Matt Lama, who's the kid going to Penn State. He's going to play some tight end for us. We're good there. Running back, everyone, we've had Tim Baldwin, went to Indiana as a running back. Keith Jenkins, all right, Morgan State. Quentin went to Slippery Rock, one of the best D2 schools this side of the country. And then Jackson. So, like, boom, boom, boom. So we always have that big workhorse.
Yeah.
And this year will probably be, definitely more running back by committee.
Okay.
We love Davion Grant. He's a junior, big kid, physical kid.
Okay. More of your every down guy.
And then we're mixing in Jameer Brown, a little bit smaller, a little faster,
a little scattier. Gotcha.
But like, they're both like, I talked about our numbers, so they're both helping us on defense as well.
Okay.
So we're rotating them through, and we
gotta
got
spell them.
We got this. We have another 9th grader that we love, maybe the fastest kid on the team, who's trying to be that third guy. That if those two are playing too much defense, he might get some carries. So we might have this 9th grader coming in there. We're really excited about what he's going to turn into, because I usually don't get kids in 9th grade that look like him, that can run like him. So we're excited about that.
Little home run hitter.
Yeah.
For you.
Hey, like I said, he can run.
Yeah.
It's just getting him to learn. All right, this is big time, big boy football. How do you tuck in? How do you tuck in behind that puller and put that foot in the ground and go?
Right.
So it's definitely a different ball game.
Yeah.
For a 9th grader at that level.
Sure.
Receiver, man, your boy George, his kid Aiden, just phenomenal. I mean, he'll be a 3-year starter for us at safety. It was never the fastest, and he's worked now he is. He's worked so hard to be one of the fastest kids on our team. He was always just had football instinct. Like, his instincts were amazing, to the point that as a sophomore, he started for us at free safety. And we knew he didn't have the speed, but he just knew where to go.
Right.
He could
always at the right place at the right time.
Reliable.
Yeah. So him and the other safety, who's also been all region 3 years running as our strong safety that comes up in the box and moves a little bit, Leo Srybar. So those two are playing safety and receiver. We got a kid, Trevor Keener, coming back, who tore his ACL the week before Callum O'Shea tore his. So they've both been trying to come back, and I know Callum's ready to go, and luckily Trevor's ready to go for us too.
Good.
So Trevor Keener coming back at receiver, we're really excited about that. And then I don't know if you've seen, I don't know if you were able to see any 7-on-7s and stuff like that. We have this kid, Braylon Addy. All right, he is one of those undersized kids. Like, he's not that kid that's going to come off the bus first, right? He's very undersized. But you want to talk about running routes? He is an absolute cheat code in 7-on-7. Like, he was averaging probably 2-3 touchdowns every 7-on. Like, you can't cover him, like, because he runs routes so well, and he was hurt all last season as a junior. So this would be his first chance being out.
This is his coming out party.
This is his coming out party, and he was one of our captains this year. So that just tells you the work he's put in.
Wow.
So he's ready to have a breakout.
Wow.
He's the one that had the touchdown in the mat. He caught that ball, made that little juke move going into the end zone. In the
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, very slippery kid.
Yes, that's Braylon.
Yeah.
So,
he's clean on his routes. He's like 1 foot in and he's out.
Yeah, he
gets
slippery.
in and out of his breaks.
Yeah. So we had that Prince William County showcase that we did back in the spring, and he couldn't, like, you have these Division I kids at DB, and you can't cover them.
Yep.
Like, if you're just you and him, there's no chance. Yeah, it's over. But he's an undersized kid who someone's going to get lucky getting him in college. Yeah. So that's the offensive side. And then obviously our defensive side is mostly back. So from that playoff defense, because it's hard to say, because our playoff defense looks so much different than our regular season defense because of all the injuries and all the things we had to, mix and match. So, up front, like I said, Chris Humana, I think he'll be the best D lineman in the county.
Yeah.
His hands and his aggression is just, he started for us as a freshman. So now he's a junior and he's ready to have a breakout season. Jordan's going to play some defense, and that's where, if some bigger school wants to take a chance at him as a nose guard, that's where he'll get his love. Jack coming in at DN. We got a bunch of other young kids fighting for the other DN spot. We're excited there. Linebacker. I can't say enough good things about Matt. I feel like I don't want to go too much into Matt because he gets so much attention, as he should. You want to talk about a kid, so he comes over as a junior, and he just wants to be coached. He was just like, I'm ready. I'm ready to be Coach Hard. And you want to talk, he's a 6'3", 230. Middle linebacker. He just looks, you want to talk about a specimen, right? Just looks the part. So humble, and he knows I need to get better. I need to do this, I need to do that. How do I do this? How do I do that? Stays out after practice and gets work. Does scout team linebacker. Like, this kid's going to Penn State, and he wants to go run scout team linebacker just because he wants to get
He
better.
needs the reps. Yeah.
Like, how many kids who are going to arguably one of the best teams in the country in Penn State?
Linebacker U.
Yeah. Linebacker U.
Right.
And it's like, when we're in 10 personnel, no tight end, he rotates in at 11 personnel, 12 personnel. We go 10. He runs over to the other side of the ball and goes scout team linebacker.
All right, you out.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's what he does.
But I need reps too. Out.
Yeah.
You're out. You're out.
I mean, that's what he does.
That's special.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times you get those kids that are that good, that special, and they're like, I'm good. Like, I'll play that side.
You know,
You're lucky I'm here. You know what I mean?
Tells
Like,
me that he's going to make it at the next level. Does he make it to the league? That's a whole different story. But just the fact that his work ethic now
100%.
and the way he operates, he talks about it all the time. That was him.
Yeah.
That was him at Syracuse.
Yeah, I know. That was
He had the fight with. He'll tell you the good counsel kids and WCAC kids, and we're Centerville, Fairfax Public School, and he outworked them all.
Yeah.
And I'll brag for you on this one. Okay?
No, man, you
I'll
ain't got
brag
to.
for
hey,
you.
but that's what
Right?
it
They ain't
takes.
got to.
He outworked them all, and it sounds like this kid. He has the look of Penn State, but he's gonna get there, and we all know at the next level, everybody's a dog.
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
But what's different? How you separate yourself is
Exactly.
the work ethic and
And your
your
mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he's already got that part figured out.
I mean, and the way he's wired, and this is one of the best stories about Matt. College coach was in here, and he's asking questions, and he's like, "All right, Matt, what is your biggest fear?" So what do people say? Snakes, spiders, not being good. They come up with stuff like that. His biggest fear. I mean, Matt's probably gonna hate me giving up his stuff like this, but it just shows how impressive he is as an individual and as a human. Tells the guy, "I don't want to disappoint my parents." His biggest fear is disappointing his parents. What high school kid says that?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I feel like after a certain 2000 and something,
Right, you don't get
parent
that
or
anymore.
kids just didn't give a rat's ass
Exactly,
whether or
yeah.
not they disappointed.
Like I said,
yeah.
he's different.
Yeah.
He's different. And then he, all right, so what's your goal? Like, what do you want to accomplish? Like, what's your biggest goal? Obviously, people are like, go to the league, win a state
Graduate.
championship,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Because make my parents proud. Your biggest goal is to make your parents proud. I mean, that's what type of kid he
Humble.
is. And
Humble.
and the coach, when the coach was leaving, he goes, whatever happens with him, like, you just tell him, like, he always, like, I will always be his biggest fan. He goes, I will adopt that kid. Like, he goes, you don't make kids like him.
don't.
And,
No,
hey,
that's
you
it.
don't.
like I said, and he's 6'3", 230, and he is just, like, he just says the right things. He is so loved by his teachers in the school. I was walking through the building. I think it was Indiana is with me, and a math teacher stops me and goes, "Hey, Sean, I just want to talk to you real quick. I just wanted to let you know." And she goes, "Oh, are you here for Matt?" And she points to the coach, and he goes, yes, ma'am, I am." And she goes, "All right, well, I'll just tell you too. Like, I love Matt. I just love him so much. He's such a great kid. He is such a great student. When you got teachers that are literally just doing that
Just
because
beaming for him,
they just want you to know how great of a kid he is. Like, and then he just happens to be one of the best players in the state of Virginia, and
Yeah.
going to Penn State. It's really awesome.
That's special.
It is special.
that is
Yeah.
very-
Yeah.
And then when Penn State comes and plucks you out of Northern Virginia to
That
be
means something.
their middle linebacker, that says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That says a lot. Big DBs or
Oh no, I think that's the whole thing. Our secondary is one of our strongest units.
Oh, that's right. You said
Yeah, we got the
Pagonis,
two,
yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
we got
'cause they go both
yeah,
ways.
we got Pagonis and Leo at safety, and corner we got a kid Luis Kenbang who was hurt all last year and literally got cleared right before the playoffs, and ended up having to, because of injuries and everything with our roster, he ended up starting in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And he did really good and got a lot of confidence, and now he's 6'2", 200-pound corner. So he's got that D1 body for corner.
Yeah.
And then now he just needs to put that together and get the film, and
what do you guys feed these athletes out here? All I'm hearing is 6'1" and above.
Well, you see the damn cafeteria, dog. I mean,
this is only one.
Oh, we got two cafeterias.
We need to go to second lunch.
Yeah, we got one common here, two common there.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so he's primed to have a great year. We got some kids fighting at the other corner. Desun Ortiz. This will be his first year with getting a shot to be the guy. And like I said, the other kid that was a corner last year in the playoffs for us, Jameer Brown, that running back I talked about earlier. He's looking at playing some outside backer and rotating with the safety because Leo is so physical from the strong safety pot. Mm-hmm. We might rotate him at the linebacker, and then the outside linebacker from last year moved to inside. So it looks different, but it's the same guys just moved around.
Sure.
So it's like 8 guys from that that playoff defense that held Battlefield to 7 points. They're
coming back.
Is back.
Yeah.
So we really like that side of the ball. We just need some depth. And like I said, with our numbers and everything, like depth's the issue. So
yeah. Now you play a very physical style of football. So how do you, understanding the numbers that are coming in and understanding your style of football, is there approach through different phases of the season that you kind of tinker, or is it just kind of based on where you're at in that particular part of the season, depending on your guys' health?
Yeah, that's always the big debate because, like I said, we are physical in practice.
Yeah.
And I'm like good on good, and we go back and forth because my coaches, are always talking like, hey, like we maybe need to, maybe flip practice a little bit, take it back a little bit because, we're so worried about getting someone hurt or we're already banged up.
Right.
It's just not my mentality. It's not. So it's difficult for me to, be like,
scale it back a little
scale
bit.
it back.
Yeah.
It's more, and it's on the kids, and I'll read the kids. Like, I'll see how they're moving. I'll see how they're working. Like we got some kids fighting through stuff, and I'm watching them. If I see it, I'm like, all right, like I'll make the change. Like, hey, we're gonna do this. Now I don't let the kids know what we're doing. We're scaling the back. I want them still to think, hey, we're working harder than everybody else.
Right.
But we'll scale things back, especially as it gets later on. We'll do more walkthrough. We'll do more less good on good. As we get later in the year. But like right now, like I said, we're work. And then like I give weekends off. So I'm like, you got your weekend off. We don't go Saturdays and Sundays. You get your weekend off. I want the kids to have lives. I want them to be with their families. So like I don't bring them in on Saturday mornings. I don't do that. So they get Saturday and Sunday off to be with their families and have a life. So yeah. Come Monday, like it's work time.
I don't know what that was like.
Yeah, no, we did film and muscle work on Saturday morning.
So did I. So did I.
Yeah. And so one of the things Coach Counts at Madison said, because he said about 3 or 4 years of attrition.
Yep.
Where going into the playoffs, he just felt his team was not physically there, and he didn't have guys in the chamber to kind of reload. And one of the questions we asked him was like, okay, well, did you change your philosophy or did you change your approach? And he said he never changed his philosophy, just like you. He said, but what they did work on earlier in the season was making sure that, yes, their 1 through 11 best players were ready, or yes, their 1 through 22 yet were ready. But what does that 25 through 38 or 40 look like? Are they developed? Are they ready? Are they battle tested? How do I get them developed as early so when a man does go down, the next man up mentality actually makes me feel good, and it doesn't make me feel like my butthole's tight.
Like what do I do here?
I mean, and what we do, that's kind of what we do. We rotate a ton of kids in there.
Yeah.
For that,
right?
For that reason.
Yep.
So that's kind of thing. Like we're going hard in practice. Like we're going 20 plays in 20 minutes. Go.
Yep.
Like we better get those 20 plays off in 20 minutes.
We're on a script.
So,
let's go.
Hey, 100%. Every coach has it.
Yep.
Everyone sees it. We film everything. So we're always rotating those kids in. So for that 25, like, hey, that kid still out of 20 reps, that kid might not get in the game one time, but he still had 4 to 6 reps in practice.
Sure.
He had 4 to 6 out of those 20. Because once again, I know what Owen can do. I know what Jordan can do. And Chris, like talking O-line wise, I know what they can do. So they don't have to go all 20. So that's kind of where they're going hard when they're in there, but we're rotating a bunch of kids in there so they're ready. Yeah. Just to be like, hey, I know what you can do. I don't need to beat on you as much. Let's see what these other kids can do because we will need them.
Yeah.
Like we owe, like Coach was saying, that's going to happen. You are going to be putting kids in there that you never thought would be playing.
Yeah.
Like last year, I never thought we were going to be in the situation that we were in where we were playing kids at certain positions. I mean, man, you want to go back to craziness was when we played Massaponics in that regional championship during COVID. I mean, we were down between injuries and COVID-related missing. Like, I had 6 out of the 11 kids on defense that were JV kids.
Oh, man.
Going against Massaponics, running the best triple and midline in the state.
Yeah.
And I got these JV kids trying to figure it out. Like, you're like, I never thought we'd be here.
Getting glanced.
So that's how you just try to prepare. Is just get those kids rotated in practice in the same situation. Yesterday, like, making team difficult. Like, make team offense difficult. Make team defense be difficult. Like, yesterday, I'm sitting there, I'm screaming, like, urgency, urgency, urgency. Why are we waiting? Why aren't you clapping? Why are they not down? Like, because, hey, we all know Friday nights get crazy.
Pick it up, man.
Yeah.
Gotta pick it up.
Yeah. So it's just sitting there getting on them so they get used to feeling that stress. They get used to feeling that pressure, doing sudden change on the defensive side. Suddenly, right away, boom, 1st and 10, balls on the 3. This is what you got. You got 3 plays. Right. Hold them. Go.
Right. Sudden change.
No,
that
was us. We had to snap the ball in practice every 30 seconds. And they honestly wanted us to snap it every 20. And that's how we played the game on Fridays. We were boom, boom, boom. So, having that urgency, hey, move. Why is the ball snapped? Why are you not down? That makes perfect sense. And again, circling back to the beginning, it's why you play the way you play.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're fast, you're physical, violent. So
it's in the preparation.
I like how we can spin it back, right?
Yeah. And so, like, and you end up, past couple years, it's been a couple plays away from getting over that hump. Last year, I think nobody saw that coming.
Nobody.
Right?
No.
And so,
had it not happened, you're in the States.
Yeah. And so, as a local resident, I'm reading the bulletins, and I'm like, all right, this is our year. And now I'm a Patriot, right? Yeah. This is our year. We're gonna do it. Go Braemar, right? Because I want my kids' school to be successful, right? I want
to feel good about where you're sending your son.
I want exactly. I got a 2-year-old right now. Yeah, I got a 2-year-old who's in the 95th percentile, and he's going to stay that way, right? So, I want to know that the school that I'm sending them to is going to, they got some tradition.
Yeah, so, you got to hang out, coach.
Yeah. So I feel like, this year with the people, you guys are young in some positions, but you're very, 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 very talented and very, very, very experienced in the positions that matter, in my opinion. Not that none of the positions matter, but your nucleus is there. Yeah.
And then people are definitely underscoring what we can do this year. There's people saying 5 and 5. I told the kids that, and the kids gave me this look like we don't go 5 and 5.
Yeah, no.
Like, that's not who we are. No. And I'm like, that's what people think, because we did lose. We lost a quarterback, we lost a running back, we lost a receiver, who all arguably might have been the best in their positions in the county.
Yeah.
So, like, I get it.
Yeah.
But they also don't know
what you have,
what we have. They don't know what these kids and, like, the strength and culture. Like, and that's one of the reasons we love scrimmage into Madison. Like, Coach Counts understands that they have a culture.
They have a culture there, right?
So, like, we might not have this or this, but, like, kids find a way because they pull themselves together and they believe in what they do, and then that makes up for it.
Yeah.
And once again, like, even if let's just say it's rougher start than maybe we want, like, it will get better every week, and then they will get hot, and then we'll get to the playoffs where we'll be playing our best football, and that's always the football we want.
When you hit your stride there, you want to get hot in the playoffs.
And also what you were talking about earlier with, like, getting kids prepared and being at their best at the end of the season, like, we like I said, we lift twice a week. I know there's coaches around that, like, don't lift during the season, and I can never understand that. Like, we lift twice a week, and I told the kids, like, we need to maintain. We don't need to get stronger throughout the season. That's not realistic, but we maintain. Like we are doing 80% of our maxes. We're doing those sets of 5 where you're at that 80%. So you are maintaining your strength. So if you can maintain and you're at that strength at the end of the season, you know you're going against teams that are weaker than they were at the beginning.
Right. And it keeps you healthier.
And it keeps you healthy. And once again, it's that belief. We're doing things different.
Yep.
And it carries with kids.
Yeah.
It goes a long way.
Look, Coach Counts, and we talk about it a lot on the podcast. There's a tree that Coach Counts comes from. That Skinner tree, that Mickey Thompson tree, right? And they all have the same mentality.
Yep.
Right. Coach Skinner used to say, you either get weaker or you get stronger in the season. You never stay the same. Right? You never stay the same.
Oh, I love it. He's got it down. He's got it down pat.
So he used to always say that. So as a freshman, I'm like, all right, I'm either getting stronger or weaker in the season, and you can feel it during the season.
He had us lifting during the season. I think the same 80% is what Skinner had us doing, and we were lifting. And he's like, nobody else in the country is doing this right now.
So but like in the playoffs last year, we went to see Madison versus Lake Braddock.
Yep.
And you could. Not saying that Lake Braddock doesn't lift, but I know Coach Counts lifts.
It's a different. It's a different. They run different schemes.
Yeah.
It's Lake Braddock.
5 wide spread.
I was just gonna say they were throwing the ball.
Madison's used to pounding.
We're going to pound you the rock.
And that wears on you. And especially if you're not used to it.
And when you got a guy like a Jackson in your case, or in Madison's case last year, Dom Nicely, that guy is going to take you out. He's slowly going to chip at you in the first quarter, maybe,
and they're going to pull away,
right? And then in the third, he's just going to start hitting home runs, and you're going to be chasing him, and you're gassed because he chipped you away in the first half of the game.
And schematically, they Counts put him in the right position a lot last year.
They moved him around last year.
They knew how to.
He played everywhere.
Yeah, they knew how to make him a wild card. So
I mean, he was probably 70% of their
definitely
offensive production,
absolutely.
something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
he was special.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's gotta feel good because you sound like you have some athletes this year. Right, some in different looks that you can give defense with different types of athletes. It's going to make you more versatile on offense.
Absolutely.
It's going to allow you to respond differently to the different looks that you're getting. And your defense can practice against something completely different as well when you're trying to give them different looks. So it sounds like a lot of this shit is coming together. I need a jersey, man. I need a shirt. I need a jersey.
You are aged out, sir.
No, not to play. I need to represent. Right down the street.
Rep the jersey.
So
we need to come out to a game.
We would love to come out to a game,
absolutely.
Coach, man.
And like I said, anything you guys want to do, it's I say open door policy, man. So like practice games, come up, get on the sideline, whatever you guys want to do. Like it's all about the kids. So really, any exposure we can put on them, better.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
And I'll kind of wrap it with this. That Gainesville team and that Battlefield team lost a lot of kids too.
Yeah.
And I don't hear anybody saying that they're going to go 5-5.
Right. Well, when you got Battlefield, you have
a good QB there.
They talk about
wide receiver and QB at Gainesville.
D1 Callum, you got D1 Glover, you got D1 Murray, you got.
they're
D1,
reloading too.
D1 Rain. I mean, they got those. I think it was. The All Hitches podcast. They were saying like, hey, we're like 6 deep. We're still talking like D1 kids.
Yeah.
And I mean. They haven't lost a regular season game in 5 years or something like that.
I give you that.
So like they've, the
pedigree is there.
Hey, I get it. It is there.
And that's no knock on Battlefield or Gainesville.
Not at all.
I get offended when the people who have earned it as well don't get their flowers as well, is what I'm saying.
Well, like I said, we do go. We do go under the radar. Like I was talking earlier, like I don't think many people even know who we do go under the radar, and that's fine by me.
Yeah.
Because we don't have, like I said, we scheduled hard.
You guys definitely scheduled hard this year.
So we get losses. Yeah. I mean, we get some losses. We don't have the regular season records. Right. So I'm like I said, I'm fine with it. And Battlefield's earned getting all that rep and all that reputation. They really have. And then Gainesville, I mean, they got talent.
Yeah.
I mean,
for a year 5 school, they compete, man.
Trey Cage is doing a great job.
They got so much talent over there. And they had a great freshman class last year, and like they got to replace a big senior class from last season because those kids were like starters for 4 years.
Yep.
So I mean, last year was supposed to be a really good year for them, and then now. You got a bunch of talent there. They got a bunch of kids going to the school. I mean, they're the big
Solid
brand new
foundation.
shiny
Yeah.
ball.
Yeah.
They're the big brand new shiny ball over there. So, and like I said, they do a great job. I know all the coaches over there too. So like they do a great job. It's a great rivalry though.
Yeah.
Because like we all know each other. The kids all know each other.
Yes.
Because they all played together
And there's
at
3 of you.
Gainesville Grizzlies.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
There's
they're
there's
3 of you. That's what I love about it.
It's like, but so again, circling back, you talking about going 10-0, but you also mentioned, Drew, that you didn't play anybody for that 10-0. You make, not you, I'm talking about like,
Yeah.
and I'm not, again, not knocking Battlefield. We love, my nephew goes to Battlefield, he plays baseball, which he played football.
Hey, and they still got us.
right?
You know, they got us those years to go
So-
10-0. They beat us too. So
They're the 10-0s, but you're not playing anybody like a Westfields, a Madison, right? You're playing inside your county, where you guys are now stepping out the box, and you're like, give me a Westfields, I'll scrimmage a Madison,
Give me a Colonial
give me a
Forge.
Colonial
Yeah.
Forge, give me a Mountain View. The battle testing, when you get to the end of the season, your guys are like, I see this. I'm
mean,
not
and that-
surprised.
and
I'm
that's
good.
the
Let's
point.
go. Like, I'm fine. Like, I can handle it. You know what? You're not better than me.
And that's the point. We tell our kids, like, we're not trying to win regular season games. I go, we want to win the whole thing.
Right.
That's why I do what I do. That's why we schedule the way we do. It's to win the whole thing. That's the goal. It's not to have the best percentage win record. It's to win the whole thing. That's why we do everything we do. And to Hat's credit at Battlefield, he wanted to schedule harder this year. He knew it too. He's like, man, we got to schedule harder. So they scheduled. I mean, obviously they scrimmaged Madison as well.
Yep.
And they just scrimmaged. I think they Dinwiddie. So
Yes.
they-
Oh, that's a good
they're-
one.
So they're doing the same
Yeah.
thing.
That's a good one.
They did put a couple harder teams on the schedule, I believe, this year, and they're out of season schedules, or out of conference schedules. So they're doing this. They know it too.
Yeah.
So to Hat's credit, like he's like, man, I got to schedule harder.
Yeah.
Something we talked about last night before we wrap it up, because we wanted the answer. How does the seating work in this?
Yeah, how's
in
the seating gonna work
How
in
does
the
the
county?
seating work in this county?
I think it's going to be the exact same thing it was before. It's
The
got to go.
points.
It's got to go off of points because we're so big.
Yeah.
Because literally, we have more teams in our region than any region in the state.
Yep.
And because we're going from 3 districts. So you have Cedar Run, Cardinal, and then you have all the Stafford schools.
Correct.
So the only way to do it, you can't do 4 and 4 because you have 3.
Right.
Everyone else is pulling from 2 districts. We're pulling from 3.
We need to convince that Fredericksburg area to pull some 5 up or some 5s up to 6s. That's really what it is.
Break
You know,
out a
if
new
they broke
region.
in their
Yeah.
own region,
Right.
or maybe took on some of the King George side, that would be completely different. But to your point, 3 districts in one region, you lose 1 or 2 games, and
Oh no,
it's tough.
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
Someone said that, we talked about this, not in the pod yet, but someone on one of our posts was like, VHSL needs to drop Division 6 and just have 5 divisions and kind of reshuffle the schools.
Oof,
Yeah.
that would be tough.
Right?
Yeah. That would be tough because then you're talking about even more potent and highly populated districts in regions. So I could see that, but yeah,
Well,
I mean, it'd be competitive.
It would be
that's for
Or maybe
super
just
competitive.
put
Yeah, it'd be very competitive.
6 is the way it is, and maybe just put 1 and 2 together and still have 5, right?
Sure.
Well,
And
you're
then-
never
and
going to
then
make
you can-
people happy.
Never.
Because I mean, obviously, the big arguments always here is, up north always has an advantage because one of them will always be in the state championship.
Always, yeah.
Because they're going against each other to go to the state championship, and they're trying to rotate it. Some years it didn't rotate for years though, so you always had either Fairfax, Alexandria, one of those places were going to go.
Yeah.
And then it was Prince William. We were going to end up having to go against the Beach.
Yeah.
So it was always, different.
We noticed that with Freedom on their run, they didn't play Freedom played Madison in the state title game, and we were like, how? But then I realized that
they did rotate it, and then obviously people talk politics. They're like, oh, the reason because they wanted the Freedom versus who was it that year?
Highland.
Was it? Yeah, they wanted the Freedom Highland Springs matchup, so that's why they rotated this year to make sure they got what they wanted. And it's like I said, sometimes it rotated. It went 2 years before it rotated. Sometimes it was rotating every year.
I mean,
I try not to really get roped into that because I can't control it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's
Once
true.
again, I stay in
your bubble.
I stay in my bubble.
The thing I learned from you guys that played at the next level, control your controllables, and you mentioned that without saying that verbiage, you've already said that's what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Coach, it's been a pleasure, man. We appreciate you having us out, and we'd love to do this again. We'd love to do this again. Yeah.
Hey, like I said, as often as possible. Is my daughter sitting there?
She's like, "Hurry up, Dad!"
hey, Obi, thanks for introducing us.
Yeah, thanks, Obi.
Hey,
appreciate you.
Like I said, Obi, I'm sure we'll talk later. But no, this was great, guys. Do this as often as possible. Like I said, talk ball forever.
I could talk ball forever. We would be here for another 2 hours, and then you'd be getting mad at me too, sweetheart.
I think she wants on.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Well, we can get her on if you want. Do you want to say hi to the cameras?
You want to say hi?
You want to come on? Come on
in.
Yeah, we can put you on. You make the podcast.
Talking to the mic.
Hey, so she sings the national anthem for people all the time. So she's used to being in front of the mic.
Wow.
So
camera ready.
She's used to this, aren't you?
Yeah. Give us your name and where do we like and subscribe?
I'm Nora. I don't know where you like and subscribe. I don't have a YouTube channel.
Because I told them when you were little, you thought you had a YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, it's my mirror.
Yeah. Instagram, anything like that, you can plug yourself in. There's thousands of people watching.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Okay, all right, not a problem.
Until I'm 16.
I like it. Oh, mom's in it. Okay, mom's rules. We like it.
Hey,
Yeah,
there you go.
That's good.
Well,
You made it on.
There you go. You definitely have something to be.
All right, she's way back there. All right, you go now.
All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate you,
Hey,
man. Thank you.
appreciate what
We do that.
All right, guys.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
Do you want to plug Patriot in here?
I mean, hey, guys, come watch us. Patriot High School. Not everybody watches us here. You know, they don't know where we're at. We're in Nokesville, Virginia, but everyone thinks we're in Bristow. Hey, it's great ball. I mean, we do play a great way of ball. We do a lot of things. This is not boring. Come support the kids, man. It's great. I just appreciate all this. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, B.
Make sure you guys tap in with us at Dogvisors, dogvisors.com. The at Dogvisors covers all social media platforms. If you guys need any videography, photography, make sure you tap in with us. And make sure you guys tap in with the Levels app, which my man Drew is going to tell you about.
There's an app out there. All athletes out there need to go on to the Apple Store and to the Android Store and download the Levels Recruiting app. What's happening is there's a whole bunch of retired football players, a whole bunch of retired D1 guys who have come together and created a free app for athletes to create their own portfolio on. And our job, fellas, all right, is to make sure we take your portfolios to the next level and make sure that these coaches see who you are, see what you represent, see your statistics, see your highlight films, and we're doing it all for free. All right, we're one of the only platforms that's actually free for athletes. You can go charge an arm and a leg to these athletes, but they need their arms and their legs to play sports. That's not what we do to you at Levels App. So go ahead and like and subscribe, LevelsApp.Ai. That's also our website, and go on to all of your platform stores and download Levels Recruiting. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
We out.